Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. We're going to call this, I need to get a motion to go into special session, please, 49th special session.
So moved. Second.
Second by Shelley. Discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0. Resolution for approval of an agreement for public art.
Mayor, I hereby move for the approval of resolution authorizing an agreement for public art between the City of Hagerstown and Christian Benefield for a sculpture adjacent to the Hagerstown Cultural Trail. Funding for the project is $5,000 from Maryland State Arts Council grant administered by Washington County Arts Council and $5,000 from the budget of the City of Hagerstown.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0. Approval of Invest Hagerstown grant programs.
Mr. Mayor, I hereby move for the mayor and city council to approve the Invest Hagerstown grant programs. The purpose of this program is to inspire and enable significant redevelopment within the city, reusing and repurposing existing vacant and underutilized properties. The program includes 4 components. Number 1, the City Center Redevelopment Grant Program. Number 2, the Citywide Redevelopment Grant Program. Number 3, the Homeownership Grant Program. And number 4, the Rental Property Rehabilitation Grant Program. Applicants shall be awarded the grants based on eligibility criteria that will determine if an applicant qualifies. Funding of this program will come from the Economic Incentives Invest Hagerstown Grant Programs line item in the fiscal year 2019 budget.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 4-1. Urban Improvement Project, amendment to memorandum of agreement with state agencies for the Maryland Theater Project.
Mr. Mayor, I hereby move for the mayor and city council to approve an amendment to the memorandum of agreement, MOA, with the Maryland Historical Trust and the Maryland Department of Housing and Community Development for the Maryland Theater Project. The amendment is required due to historic preservation regulations associated with the state of Maryland grant funding for the project. The draft amendment document is attached, and delivery of the final document with minor adjustments from the state of Maryland is pending. The mayor is hereby authorized to execute the final version when received from the state of Maryland.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. All right, on to the work session. Preliminary agenda review. If you have any questions, please stop me. With that, we have minutes. Okay. The invocation to be given by Councilmember Alston Heffernan next week. We'll have the pledge of the flag. We'll have announcements. A meeting schedule is in September. There is no meeting on the 4th. The 11th is a work session at 4. The 18th is a work session at 4 p.m. And then our regular session is the 25th at 7 p.m. Hopefully, we'll have appointments to the city's Ethics Commission and the Hagerstown Housing Authority. We'll have some guests, the 2018 Highlight Hagerstown Awards. We'll have citizen comments. We'll have the city administrator comments, mayor and council comments. We'll adopt the minutes of June 5th, 19th, and the 26th. And then we'll adopt the consent agenda, which the first item is Parks and Engineering. There's a signal project, Milton Stamper Builders, Hagerstown, Maryland, for $292,146. Reconstruction of a traffic signal at South Mulberry Street and East Antietam Street. The installation of pedestrian crosswalk across Salem Avenue at Linganore Avenue. Rodney, while I have your undivided attention, if you get a chance, if you will please drive east on Northern Avenue and get in the left-hand turn lane at Leitersburg Pike and make that left-hand turn. Hold a cup of coffee in your hand, okay? And you see what I'm talking about. It's getting worse every year. So
I notified State Highway about it.
I know you mentioned
Talking
that.
about the condition of the road?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
The
it's like,
insurance agent
it's like
in me
running over
advises
railroad
against
tracks.
driving with cup of coffee in your hand. Just saying.
I got the message.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Under police, there'll be purchase of 8 2019 Ford Interceptor SUVs from Keystone Ford of Chambersburg, Pennsylvania, for $366,488.30. LSAG license plate reader, Leonardo, Greensboro, North Carolina, for $33,480. And radios from Harris Assured Communications, Washington County Government, for $50,000. We partner with Washington County.
Yes.
So. Under unfinished business, there will be approval of an ordinance land transfer of 52 East Baltimore Street. And under new business, there will be an introduction of an ordinance, Chapter 197 amendments. There will be an introduction of an ordinance authorizing the sale of property located at 17 to 25 East Franklin Street. There will be an introduction of an ordinance to ethics ordinance amendments.
That will be, Mr. Mayor, that will be just the state-regulated
Right,
amendments that we have to make.
right. Ones that are mandated.
Mandated, yes.
We have an approval resolution, adopt 2017 Washington County Hazard Mitigation Plan as the city plan. We have approval resolution, Neighborhood Business Works Program loan request for the Schmankelstube Restaurant project. We have the approval resolution, amendment to residential lease agreement for 38 North Potomac Street, Unit 2. We have the approval of renewal of an MOU, the U.S. Marshal Service Violent Offender Task Force. We have the approval of, approval of proposal for after-school program at the Parkside Community Center, and the approval of a proposal for after-school program BTJ Dance Club. Any questions on next week's agenda? Fantastic. All right, Sinagro update. Mike Spiker and Joe Moss. New svelte. Svelte, look at it.
Yeah.
Half the man.
Got a new knee, yeah, pretty much. But you're bionic now.
Good to see you.
Thank you very much. It's good to be back.
I'm scheduled to get my knees replaced next.
Because you gotta drop some weight too, right, Joe?
That's my plan, too.
Me too.
I'd like to thank Tom Maestri and Rick Schumann are here from Synagro to provide moral support, and to thank Tom that the memo, he had an indispensable part in drafting a lot of this information together with Joe's input and then to put it together. So thank you. Thank you both. I can do this in 5 minutes.
Good, that's what we'd like
God
to
bless
hear.
Caroline for giving me 30 minutes, but on a beautiful day like this, I'm going to do it in 5 for you.
Beautiful day.
Synagro runs our pelletizing operation. We pay them approximately $93,000 a month. They take our processed waste, pelletize it, and then dispose of it. It's about 15 tons per week still, running pretty close. 45 dry tons. Sorry? About 45 dry tons. It was 15 a day, that's right. It's 15 a day, 4.5 days. That's my fault. Thanks, Rick. We were here in 2013. We did a 10-year extension to the contract with them, which runs until September 2023. We brought in some information regarding minimum upgrades to the facility, which approached about $5.1 million. In the 5 years since then, working with them, as with every project that I've ever brought back to the council, and thank you once again for all of your support through the years, it's approximately $10 million at the moment. We've had to work through dust hazard analysis, bring stuff up to NFPA standards, building upgrades, regulatory, polymer, ferric chloride, belt filter press. It's all in the memo, which is very, I think, clear on what we've been up against to move forward with this. Page 5, we did a 6-point process improvement. I think pretty much just spells out exactly what we're trying to do at the facility. What Synagro does for us, what we do is indispensable for the city. It's, in our opinion, it's money well spent for all of us. We have not done an upgrade to that facility of any major type in 20 years, so it's woefully behind. Financially, we had the $5.1 million that the council had approved. We're going to need up to $5 million again. Joe, Tom, everybody's still working together to finalize the process. Working with Michelle, met with Valerie today, and we ran through some of the business side of what we're going to try to do financially. The city has bonding capability of X amount of dollars. So over the next few years, Michelle said she can maybe get $2 million worth of bonding for the project. The rest we will work through on cash. Fortunately for us, we're in the process of finalizing our 5-year projections for rates, we can build that $2 or $3 million into cash. We're in a very strong, I hesitate saying this, we're in a very strong cash position at the moment.
Mayor didn't hear that.
I know, but I need to be honest with you. It's $8 million right now before we do the month 13 adjustment. It's going to move a little bit. Now, we have some funding in there already that's been advanced for this project. But for the wastewater fund, Joe, his group, last few years have been operating tremendously conservative for us. We had that cash build up, so we wouldn't have to bond finance $2 or $3 million of this extra $5 million, which helps the ratepayers, all of us together. So we're looking at building it into the rate model, maybe $2 million over 5 years to see what it does to it. We'll come back and we finalize a rate model so you all can see what it does to rates. It's $500,000 a year, for 4 years. It's minimal. I say minimal. It's not minimal, but it is in the realm of things. Not that hard to absorb that increase into the rate structure. So we'll be back probably September, October to have some rate structure discussion with you. We have a solid operation plan, a solid financial plan, and I'm just asking you all for us to move forward. We'll bring you back the finalization of it later, but we're confident that's going to bring us up to where we need with Senator Grove's help, with Joe and his staff oversight on it. We're confident we'll have something there in place for the next 20 years to serve the citizens.
Sounds good.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Okay, buddy.
I appreciate it.
Do you need any council action on this particular thing?
No,
now?
ma'am. Tom and Rick needed to hear that everybody's on board. We need to go ahead and move forward with
Okay.
purchasing some equipment, which we put on hold. So I
Okay.
think you're confident, everybody's on board with it. We'll do the financial part then to come back later for it. So,
For the rates?
yes, we'll bring that
Okay.
back, yes.
Awesome.
Yep. If not, we know we have cash available and continue to have with our current rate structure. If we need to pay, we don't want to spend all of our cash down, but we could pay for it out of our cash.
Okay,
All right?
thank you.
Thank you all so much.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Nice.
Once again, good to be back.
Yeah, welcome.
Thank you.
Very good.
City administrator's comments.
Just a wonderful, although a little bit wet, August-toberfest, but it was still a great time and just a wonderful celebration of the community and the heritage and just a whole lot of fun, both days. That's all, Mr. Mayor.
Shelley?
I echo that. Eric Dykey, huge shout out for him and Kitty and his
Yeah.
team. I tell you what, I received so much feedback on how easy it was to work with Eric, and he put a lot of effort and coordination and really pulled off a great event.
It's a big city team that
Boy, I'll
works
say.
together, along, and the committee, the August-toberfest.
And the August-toberfest committee,
yep.
absolutely. It was a great time, so, thanks.
Yep.
Lou?
Instead of talking about August-toberfest and how great staff is, I will talk about the downtown improvement project and how great staff is. I've gotten nothing but wonderful feedback from everybody associated with this Maryland Theater project of how staff is dealing with the situation. And I want to commend everybody
Pass
for
that
it.
along.
Cool.
Awesome.
Austin?
Nothing other than what's been said.
Me neither.
All right. I was down for a short period of time at the August-toberfest, and I stayed through the torrential downpour because I wasn't about to try to get to City Hall in that rain. Enjoyed the waterfall that was coming off of the tent.
Yes.
But you're right, it is. It's a great event, great people who.
Didn't stop the fun.
No, it did not. Everybody still had a great time. I also went to the blessing of the Dolman Black Heritage Museum. They put their sign up, and that project needs to continue to move forward. And I went over to City Park and went to a picnic of the Islamic Society of Western Maryland and had a good time there. Spent some time talking to people about economic development and some of the challenges that we face. So, good Saturday, busy, but yeah. But got it all in before the rain came, so that's all that matters. So, other than that, that's all I have, and we will see you next Tuesday.